my head gets cut off every once in a while, that's okay too. It's more about the content than it is me. I'm not trying to be a Hollywood director. So today, we are going to graph parabolas. We are going to do them two different ways. No matter what, you're going to have to be able to graph one using each one of these methods. Okay. Obviously, if you remember what I said the other day, when someone asked you to graph something, there was just one thing the old guy wanted you to remember, and that was using the XY chart. Okay? Because of parabolas are really quadratic equations, and the example I want to use is 2x squared minus 8x. We've got that, and we wanted to graph it. There is no, hey, slope-intercept form, so I can't do the y equals mx plus b. From our past experience, we know it looks like a U, either opening up or opening down. Anybody remember how you can tell whether this opens up or opens down? Yeah, but there's a negative x squared, then it's going to open down. And we'll get into all these little characteristics of things. There's also several different forms you could put the quadratic equation in. When we study parabolas in the conic sections next year, and hopefully we get that far into May, and we might look at some of that stuff in different forms. That x minus h squared, plus, you probably did it over there, y minus k, stuff like that. H and k, and you're going to get used to the h's and k's and the a's and the b's. We're going to see that a lot too when we study all these different functions. But when it comes to graphing, we've got the U. And we're going to do the chart. And unfortunately for the parabola, it's not very easy as far as the chart goes, because the chart may or may not give you the whole picture. What you're really trying to do is find out what I call that hook, where that starts to come back up, and the parabola is nice and symmetric. But you're only way to do this really is to start with 0, 1, and -1 and see what happens. And then just kind of pick numbers on either side. It might take you 5 or 6 of these to get an idea what it looks like. I'm trying to find out when it goes back up or goes back down, that hook. So if I look at this right here, I plug in 0, I'm plugging it into that. That's 0 minus 0 plus 4. So there's 0, 4. Then I'm going to plug in 1. So that's 2 times 1 squared minus 8 times 1 plus 4. Remember, when you square something, it's always positive, so be careful if you're trying to do this on your calculator. But that's 2 minus 8, which is -6, plus 4, -2. I'm really kind of hoping I get something that matches. When I get the match, that means I've found kind of the middle. And we'll see it once we graph it here in a minute. But if I plug in now -1, that's 2 times -1 squared. 8 times -1 plus 4. That's still 2, because that's -1 squared, which is 1. Careful. Minus 8 times -1, so it's really plus 8. And that gives me 14. Now, that's pretty big for what we need. I'm probably not going to keep going in the negative direction. I'm going to now try 2. 14 is going to keep growing on that side most likely, so I'm going to try 2. If I plug in 2, that's 2 times 2 squared minus 8 times 2 plus 4. This is very labor intensive, okay? Very labor intensive, unfortunately. 2 squared is 4 times 2 is 8. minus 16 plus the 4. 8 minus 16 is negative 8 plus 4 is negative 4. Still haven't got what I want. I'm hoping I get something to match. Let's try 3. I'm not going to do negative 2 because that's going to give me something really big on the other side. I'm going to do 3. 2 times 3 squared minus 8 times 3 plus 4. That's 9 times 2, which is 18, minus 24 plus 4. 18 minus 24 is negative 6, though, right?
Yeah.
Plus 4 is? Ooh! Ding, 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 ding. We found ourselves a match. That's great. That tells me I know where the middle is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go take and plot these 6 points. Or 5, excuse me. And I'm going to see my picture of what's going on. So how am I doing scale-wise? Can I see everything here? I think I should be able to make it. I might not be able to plot negative 1, but that's okay. 0, 4. 1, negative 2. Negative 1 would be way up there. Don't want it. So I'm going to do 2 is what? Negative 4. And then 3 is negative 2. Remember the parabola is nice and symmetric? Anybody remember the name of that line? There's one thing that goes right down the middle. No, the vertex is actually hopefully the bottom, which is right there. That's the vertex. This is called the axis of symmetry. We'll use it later today. But what that means is this is the middle, and that's either the bottom or the top, which is the vertex. And anybody, like this dot over here, is the same distance as someone directly across it. So like a mirror image. And so if this one is 2 away over here, there's another one over here at 2 away. I forgot to give you guys graph paper, didn't I? Oh, well, I'll give you a second. I'll give you some in a minute. And so now I've got enough to draw this thing, connect the dots, give myself a general sense of what that parabola looks like. Unfortunately, like I said, the chart is not a nice guarantee of things, and I'm going to go through one next before I turn you loose. That is going to be kind of messy. Right? Let me shut this off. That needs some graph paper.